So first series of videos today looking at why does Jesus heal people, and we're looking at the first sort of healing story we're looking at is Luke 5:17 to 26. We're going to just look in this first story. You need to be careful with yo wood, you're not supposed to breathe it in. In this first story at what is happening as Jesus is doing this miracle, because if you understand what Jesus is doing, it's good to know what's actually going on. And what's going on is that Jesus has been wandering around the Galilee region, and he's been doing all sorts of miracles, largely ignored by the establishment up to this point. But as he's growing a following, so they're taking more of an interest. And the establishment guys, the Pharisees, are here, and they want to see what Jesus is like. So Jesus is, for the first time, facing some sort of authority-driven opposition. And what strikes me is the way Jesus just sort of, well, he doesn't ignore it, because he talks to the Pharisees at the end of the narrative, and he engages with their challenge. But he ignores it in the sense that just because people want him to do a different thing, he doesn't do a different thing. And the Pharisees are sat in this house watching Jesus like inspectors in the back of a lesson. But just like every good teacher, when faced with classroom inspections, he just teaches the same old, not same old way, but he teaches the same stuff with the same conviction. And I think it's an encouragement to us as church. So often we'd love to be popular with the world. So often we'd love the establishment to be like, yes, you're doing the right things. But actually that should never be our primary driver. I mean, it's always nice to have support from local government and what have you. But actually what Jesus does is he does what he's called to do. And Luke 4, he's read out from Psalm 61. He's there to release, speak freedom for the oppressed. And so that's what we see him doing. He brings freedom to the oppressed. And he doesn't care whether other people like it or not. And I'd love for the church to be a place where people do what God calls them to do, with very little regard of whether the world wants them to or not.